Hey, everybody, school's in session, and you're here at the Yellowhammer Football Podcast. I'm the Colonel, he is Catfish, and we're going to talk a little high school football in the surrounding counties where we live. What's going on, buddy?
What up, brother?
Again, another new podcast here on the Lotus Sports Network. We hope you check out everything else we do. But, guys, let's go ahead and get starting. We're going to talk a little county records. If I can get this thing to work. There we go.
With this, we wanted to show everybody the history of our four counties, who has the most championships. We're only doing 1 through 3. Now, like with state, there may be only one team that's won an actual state championship. We'll just have one team labeled. But we're doing it throughout, like championships, playoffs, region wins, coach records, all that. So right here, what we're looking at is Marion County. And the only team in Marion County that's won a state championship is Marion County, and they've done it 4 times. They did it, I think, the last time back in 2011. And with Kyle Williams as their head coach, I believe that's coming. I think he's done nothing but improve while he's been in Marion County. And it should be any time now that they're taking it back there. And their rich history, I mean, they've dominated their region every decade.
Right.
There's been one mythical state champion, and mythical just means, self-proclaimed, or like newspaper in their region proclaimed them the state championship. It's not like a whole state kind of thing, but there's only been one Brilliance, one. And then as far as region championships, this is the 3 teams that's got the most region championships: Hackleburg, Winfield, and Hamilton. Hackleburg leading with 16. Anything surprise you out there, Brian?
Well, the mythical thing, know, that I don't know a lot about high school football. For anybody that doesn't know that, I didn't know they would have mythical, championships like college football does.
It's kind of like with Alabama,
Right.
Yeah, we claim what is it, 18?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, as long as like you said, a newspaper or some organization claims you the champion, you'll count it.
Yeah. No doubt. And Haleyville, I believe, got the most mythical with 8, so we'll see them coming up.
Yeah, that don't surprise me.
Herman Bubba Scott, brother. Yeah, but I believe Herman Bubba Scott eventually was the head of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. I believe he started it, actually.
Wow.
And but here's Franklin County, Russellville, no surprise, 2 state champions ships, and I think it was back in the 60s, both of them. The mythical, again, Russell leads with 3, Red Bay with 1. And then, Red Bay's had the Tiffins,
right?
Van and Lee Tiffin. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so they've got a pretty rich kicking history.
Yeah,
and mobile homes.
Yeah.
Region, Russell leading again with 19, Red Bay 13, Phil Campbell 5.
And that surprises me about Phil Campbell. Again, that's where I went to school. And the whole time I went to school, man, we were not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's many factors to that. Where it's a small school, for one thing.
Were you Kelly Kaiser?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was a good coach. It was just,
he had some. Look, in the early 2000s, he had some great teams.
Yeah.
But again, I wasn't in high school then. It'd be a few years later before I got there. And, we'd go to homecoming. That's about all we'd go to.
Walker County, here we go. Just to get some Jasper fans fired up, or Walker Vikings,
Right.
But for Walker County state championship leaders, Cordova 2, and they're the only ones that's won a actual state championship. Now mythical, they've won 2, and then you got Carbon Hill, Curry, and Dora in a tie with 1. Region, no surprise, Cordova again 16, and then Dora and Jasper 10. Now I believe back in, I want to say it had to be the late. It was like 2008 or 2007 through 2010, where Cordova was just excellent. They had Ryan Smith, had a couple other boys. They won the state championships. The two, I don't think they won both of them. I think one of them they lost and one of them they won. But the two may have been then. But
Wow.
they were some boys. They could play. Ryan Smith went on to play at Auburn, and he had a heck of a stop against Mississippi State. It was a goal line stand. It was pretty cool. It was right at the end, and then it may have been Sly Croom's last season as a Mississippi State head coach. But Tim Simon went and played at Ole Miss, and a guy that had went to Haleville, Heath Batchelor, that played line at South Carolina. I believe it was his first game on television. And it was Tim Simon's first game too, and it may have been a Thursday night ESPN game, may have been the first game of the season. And first play was a kickoff, and Tim Simon blew out his knee on it. It was a hard way to start a college career.
Yeah, I mean it's always cool to see people that went to schools around us, make it to big time college, know, because you see a lot of people go to UNA and stuff like that. And UNA is now a D1 school, but and they had a run where they won multiple championships in a row, but but it's not it's not on ESPN. It might be now if they play Auburn or Alabama and get beat by 150, but
the only way they were playing on ESPN, was when the FCS championship happened, and it was at Braley Stadium in Florence, Alabama.
Oh yeah, I went to one year. It was Delta State playing against Minnesota Duluth. I got tickets from work. I had no idea who anybody was. I know Delta State likes to be the Fighting Okra, and I thought that was pretty cool. But they ended up losing the game, but it was pretty cool.
Did you get a hat?
No. I got a hot dog. That's what I got.
There we go. Where I'm from, Winston County, Addison. It didn't matter what channel. Like it didn't matter if it was like Fox 6 Sideline or 3340 The Blitz. Once you turned it on, it seemed like in the early 2000s, one team they always showcased was Addison. And they were always good. And it'll show in a lot of these standings on how dominant they are in their region or against other opponents and how dominant they've been in the playoffs. And it's no surprise that they're first in the state championship with 3, and actually the only ones that's actually won an actual state championship.
Right. Yeah, it looks like the majority of them is going to be mythical.
So. Yeah. Here's the mythical, and of course, I told you Haleville had 8, and now a lot of them, and maybe all of them, was under Herman Bubba Scott. He said, "A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits." Yep. And I may have got that backwards, but you got the point,
right? Yeah.
But and then Winston County, the Yellow Jackets, the Free State of Winston. They got their 3. And Addison's got another mythical region. No surprise, Addison with 19 region wins. Man, that is dominant. Haleville was 7 and Lamb was 6.
Right. I mean, it looks like Addison is just a dominant force in football. You know, like I said, I don't know much about it, but just looking at these stats, that would be the team to pick every year.
Oh, yeah. Here's the most playoff wins by county. Does this surprise you with Marion County?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, 29. That you got to think most of these teams, or a lot of them, a lot of years, are one and dones. So if you're thinking 29 playoff wins and they went one and done every time, that's 29 seasons they got the playoffs. That's pretty daggum good.
Oh, it's not bad. No.
But 29 wins in the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
That's incredible. But, I mean, Winfield ain't far behind them, and so is Hamilton. I mean, Winfield, with what they got, and Coach McKinney, he's been a dominant coach. I mean, he's pretty good. Their offense is outstanding. They beat Oakman. I went and watched the Oakman game last year, and I thought Oatman had a better chance in that game, but it was something about Winfield. They rode all season long, 10-0. Won the first 2 playoff games and lost in the third round to Piedmont. But God, that was probably the best season I've seen Winfield have. And Hamilton's always been a pretty solid program. I believe Barry Peoples is going to have them back up there too.
Yeah, from what I can remember, Hamilton was always, a really good program when I was in school. Now, again, that's been a long time ago, but longer than
been too long.
Longer than I want to admit. But
oh man,
Lord have mercy! Look at this one.
oh yeah, this is where Russellville shows their dominance, and I believe I want to say Russellville and Haleville used to be the biggest rivals, but back in the '80s maybe,
yeah,
and Russellville just I don't see. It may just be a Franklin County thing. They just dominate that area, but man, that is just a gap between 1 and 2, 65.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, you look at Russellville, a lot of that stadium was built with Roger Bedford's money, Senator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Former Senator Roger Bedford, lawyer from Russellville, he donated a lot of money to have the stadium built, the field house or whatever.
Yeah.
But that don't win you football games,
No.
So
I'd see him shaking hands at the Watermelon Festival every year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He did a lot for the program. You had Chucky Mullins.
Mm-hmm.
You had I believe Aaron Sears back in the early 2000s. I mean, they've had some dudes come through there. What was his name? Played at Alabama, played linebacker. Brent Callaway.
Yeah.
He was another dominant player at Russellville.
Yeah.
I believe he had a little bit of trouble in college, but
he never saw the field much, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
he came in that class with DJ Petway and a couple other guys from North Alabama. I mean, it was a pretty good haul for Nick Saban up north that year.
Oh, for sure.
Phil Campbell's got 5 playoff wins. What do you think about that?
Hey, good for us. good for us.
Has any of them happened when you've been alive? As you've been alive?
Maybe. Like I said, I never really kept up with it much. I'm sure we've made it, way more than 5. But I would hope. But
I will say, there was nothing like just before you got into high school and playing football, Pee-wee football. Just having that feel of going to a high school game when you played Pee-wee.
Yeah.
And you would travel with your high school home team to see them play anywhere. They were just like,
they were the superstars.
Yeah, they were superstars.
Yeah, for sure.
But once you got into Phil Campbell and you got under the away side bleachers, and you tossed the football around and everything, there was nothing like it. You would be under the band, the hot dog smells. I mean, it was Phil Campbell had a pretty good environment. It was always nice.
And after the tornado of 2011 come through, you had to remodel the stadium, so it looks a lot better than it did when I went to school.
Yeah, I mean, that place looks great.
They've even got a little practice field now, which I know they never had. So
and Barnwell, he's done nothing but get better as his records show. Like he's one upped.
Yeah,
his record each year,
which is what you want. I mean, you want to see improvement. Sure, everybody would love to go win the state title, but especially us and Phil Campbell, man, we're happy.
Yeah,
you need to beat Hackleburg for one thing.
Oh yeah,
and we'll talk about that a little later. But just get better. Show us some improvement.
No doubt. And I mean, it's coming along. It is. Let's see what went. This is Walker. Here we go. Did we do Marion? Let's see.
That's Franklin and Walker.
I may have got a mixed
Winston.
Up. Marion may have been first. We already did.
Might have been.
So Walker County, no surprise, Cordova 45. I didn't realize that there was going to be that much of a gap between Cordova and Dora.
Yeah.
Because Dora has these years where they're like subpar or whatever, but every now and then it's making a splash in the playoffs, and with like Chavis Williams, he played at Dora, and then he played at Alabama under Nick Saban. He was there for the first national titles, and he was a pretty good outside linebacker, and he's a pretty good head coach. He started out at Carbon Hill, and now he's at Dora, and look for them to be back in the playoffs, deep in the playoffs this year. And then Jasper the same way. They got Philip Bailey. He's a good coach. They've had issues in the region they were in because they were in 6A. All the teams they were playing had way more guys than them. They had way fresh legs. It was just hard for them to compete. And then you add in COVID 2020 and all that. It was kind of unachievable.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you could do.
Yeah, and then last year they had a 5-5 record, and that looked good in my eyes. And they've got a quarterback, Spencer Rosenfeld, that's making it's his third year to start. His sophomore year, he got hurt in the Coleman game. And maybe this year, they beat Coleman last year. I'm kind of excited to see what second week looks like with them facing Coleman. It's at Coleman. But I think in the region they're in now, they still play like GW Carver and Ramsey and stuff like that. But I think they'll stand a better chance matching up against these teams with the sizes.
Yeah, probably so. That would make sense.
Winston County. Oh, Halo ain't even on there.
Nope.
Hey, Addison, no surprise, 57. Lynn's one of them teams that everybody, at one point in time, I would say it was the best high school environment in the state. You had Redneck Hill, you had toilet paper rose fireworks and everything popping. It was honestly one of the better road games to go to. And with Mark Hastings there, he had success at Oakman. I do believe he'll have success at Lynn and get them back going good. And they've got a good solid line, a couple older guys. Most of them are juniors and seniors. They've got one sophomore starting, but other than that, they're pretty experienced. And even with the sophomore, he's played a lot of football.
And that's one thing. Like, you get these guys once they're sophomores and seniors, and they've played so much football, they can't help but be good.
No, I can't help. I mean, and it's honestly the way to go. I don't see like a lot of these bigger programs separate their junior varsity and varsity. I think they should practice together, maybe hit each other or work out with each other. But it definitely helps to have that experience.
Right. I mean, you definitely don't want to get anybody hurt more than they probably will anyway. I mean, it's a very physical sport. You just can't help that. But like, there's an old saying that iron sharpens iron.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
If you need these young guys practicing against these older guys, because these older guys are better than them, and they know that.
Yeah.
And that helps them get better. You only get better if you work against or with people that are better than you. And that's with every walk of life.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm kind of excited about Lynn this year. I'm not gonna lie. Addison's sitting up there at number 1. I watched them two play at Lynn last year, and it was a pretty good ball game. Like first half was like it could have been anybody's ball game. Now Lynn right off the bat, third quarter, first start of the half, they were returning one. Dude had a hole, and I mean he was running through it. And somebody got their arm out, hit that ball, knocked it out, and Addison took it, scored, and then scored right off the bat. And when Lynn finally got the ball back, they had actually turned the ball over again, and Addison scored on the hit, and it was just it was downhill from then. But I look for Lynn to actually put up a fight when them and Addison meet this year at Addison.
It'll be a good game. It's got to be.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Here's the region wins. This will show you which programs have been competitive.
Yeah.
Year in and year out. and Russellville, of course, they're kings of Franklin County. 186. That's a lot of region wins. Red Bay 150. Phil Campbell 94. They're consistent. Number 3 right there.
Hey, I'm glad we're on the list. I'm
Yeah.
glad we made the top 3.
No
Good
doubt.
for good for us.
Just glad to be here.
Yeah.
Marion, this is kind of surprising in a way, because normally it's not. Hackleburg's always been pretty good. Hamilton is always pretty good, and they've been a lot of times in the same region as Winfield. And I know a lot of people say Haleville Hamilton, that's the biggest rivalry, but Winfield and Hamilton's got the biggest rivalry, I think. And it shows right there. Just they've got a narrow lead on region wins, and
yep,
that's close. That's not too far away. That's a couple seasons.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The reason why it's dashed right here is because when I tabbed it,
that's fine.
It wouldn't give me.
Yeah,
it wouldn't let me change the number. Yeah, Jasper and Cordova are tied with region wins. Knowing some Jasper guys, being around them, of course, a lot of them are Walker guys, but knowing how bad they hate Cordova, and I don't know where the hatred comes from, because they don't often play. And Cordova, they're just some good old boys. I mean, it's hard to get down there. The roads are always bad.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're good people. I love Cordova. It's a great family community, and they always produce pretty good football teams. And when Paris shut down, most of the guys either went to Oatman or Cordova, and they've kind of adopted Paris as half of Cordova now. So I like where Cordova stands this year. Oatman with Ryan Hall, he's got them. He's got a cool offense too. I mean, not many people are running it like he is, but I believe Oatman will. I don't see more than one loss on Oatman's regular season schedule.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 9-1.
We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. Winston County. Addison, no surprise.
Nope.
But it is a surprise to not see Haleville on here again. I mean,
yeah, that's for sure.
Granted, Haleville's always in harder regions and everything like that, but
yeah.
Addison 178, Winston County 110, and Lynn 108, and you would think Haleville would have at least 110 region wins, but it's not.
That's what I would think. Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't. Is it because I just live so close to Haleville and that's all I heard about? That could be the case.
Poison, rat poison.
That's it, man.
All right, here we go. Coach wins by county. Now this is just we're taking each coach's win total from each one of their previous jobs or the job they got now, and we're just going by wins. And most of these guys have either been here a while at their teams or just starting out, so this is not going against their coaching ability,
right?
But John Ritter, 69 wins. The dude is coached at West Morgan, he's coached at Red Bay, and here's his third job, Russellville, and he's been successful everywhere he's went. Heath Childers at Red Bay with 28 wins. He's been pretty successful. And, Coach Barnwell, he's got Phil Campbell moving in the right direction, and he's sitting there at 19. David McKinney, there's that man, that successful thoroughbred coach.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look at it. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
That's incredible. That's a lot of wins right there. That's a lot of football. And Winfield, like I said, perfect season, regular season, then 2 playoff wins, and then Piedmont. I would have talked to anybody and everybody else would have said Winfield. They would have said Winfield would have won that game, and the fact that they lost in the fashion they did, that was kind of surprising. But they had a heck of a season, and I kind of look for them to repeat that. no lie. And
I'm interested. I can't wait to see
yeah,
how this team does.
yeah. Rod Hudson at Hackleburg. We get to watch him pretty soon.
Yeah.
First week. Like we'll get to that as you said, but
Right.
I mean that's 103. That's a lot of wins. And Hamilton with Barry Peoples at 89. He's had pretty successful years too, as well.
Yeah, I mean, with the number of wins for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
most
anytime you get anywhere near 100, you know,
that's a good
that's
career.
that's a good
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah.
career
You know a lot of people. You've been around a lot of coaching tables for sure.
for sure.
Yeah. Walker County. David Powell at Sumter Christian. He coached at yeah,
If I say, look at them numbers.
yeah. I want to say he was Hueytown. I believe he coached down at Hueytown. They got a lot of wins, and he's done pretty good at Sumter Christian. A game I watched them in last year against Meek. They lost. They looked good in. It was pretty close, and he's got them to where they're coming over the hill. They're about to be their dominant selves again, and I'm looking forward to a lot of these teams in Walker County just to see where they're going. Shane Smothers at Cordova, he's got him a good staff, and Cordova's always been rich with football history, so you can't really count them out any year. And like I said, Ryan Hall 9-1.
Yep.
Remember 9-1. Right here in Winston County. Mark Hastings, he coached at Oatman. I believe I said that already, but he's been around the block. Guy knows his stuff, and Lynn 2-8 last year. That won't happen again this year. They've got Kevin Fiddle back. They've got a couple receivers, Logan, and they've got a pretty solid offensive line. I would say probably the best offensive line in their region, and I look for them to be able to compete with anybody. David Smothers at Addison, 81 wins. Like we said, that's a pretty good career.
Oh, yeah.
You know who Bo Cover is, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
He coached Phil Campbell. He's coached at Deschler. He's coached at Haleville. This is his second stint at Haleville.
Yep.
And I mean, he's racking up the wins. He got 63. He's a pretty good coach, and I look for him. I look for Haleville to be at least a whole lot more competitive than they were the last 4 years.
Right.
Yeah. Most All-State and NFL players by county. Does this surprise you?
Yeah. I didn't know Phil Campbell had an NFL player. It might have been in the 60s, I imagine.
Yeah. I think it's probably 30s.
Yeah. It had to be a long time ago.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, for Phil Campbell and Red Bay to both, well, I think that one of the Tiffins had to be the NFL player for Red Bay. If I'm wrong on that, excuse me, but
I mean, Van or Lee, one of them,
one of them
had to at least be there for a short period of time.
Yeah, no doubt. And Russell with 3, Phil Campbell with All-State players, 34 is pretty good.
Yeah,
Red Bay having 72, Russell 131. Again, that's
dominant. I mean, it's a factory, So
them being the biggest school and still able to compete with anybody they've played against it's unbelievable. They've got I'm sure they've got the most wins out of any of these teams.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well over 600. All-State for Marion County, we're looking at Hamilton at 95. Oof, that's a lot.
That is.
Yeah, Marion County 82 and Winfield 69. And like I said, Hamilton and Winfield have always competed pretty much usually close to the same region, if not the same region, and with Haleville.
Yeah.
So for them to have 95 and 69, that's a lot of boys through the years getting All-State. And then Marion County at 82, that just proves to you how dominant they've been.
Yep.
And Marion County's had the only NFL player.
again, it just blows my mind that anybody from any county near me has had an NFL player. You know,
it just hadn't happened. It doesn't happen. It's crazy. You would think it.
it's that's a hard thing, man. It's
Yeah,
hard. It's hard to get there.
yeah,
Even being a free agent getting signed to the NFL, you
yeah,
still have to be really, really good at
yeah,
football to get that.
yeah,
Because most of these guys, like, you go from high school to college, and they were the best player on their high school team.
yeah,
Now they're not the best player in the locker room on college, but or maybe they are, and then they go to the NFL. Well, they were the best team on that college team, and now they're playing with 35-year-old men. You
yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
just different. So
That bench 700 pounds.
right, exactly, and
Uh,
don't care who you are.
no,
So
no, no. You're the rookie. You get picked on.
right, because they were them years
Oh yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah. You gotta keep up the. You gotta keep it up. Keep up the
Yep,
history.
that's it.
Uh, Jasper actually has a guy on the Minnesota Vikings preseason squad. So we'll see if he ends up making the roster. So
Yep,
this might change. This might change right here in Walker County. But again, Cordova leading 90 All-State players, Door with 87, Noteman at 67. And something about, again, there's something about Cordova with the NFL. Two players, that's a lot. That's a
that's a
lot.
lot, man. I
Yeah.
tell you, man. Like we just saw Phil Campbell had one.
Mm.
It surprises me they haven't named Main Street after whoever that player is, or something
Exactly.
like that.
You would think you would think he would at least have a cast or bronze cast statue or
Oh yeah,
something.
they would have been a statue in front of the football field.
Yeah, I was about to say cast iron.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
look,
either way, yeah, yeah.
either way, if it's Phil Campbell, man, it might be aluminum. Who
Hey,
knows?
it might look good, Phil Campbell. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. All State. Addison with 108. Halo finally gets back on these lists, and they
Yeah,
got 76. Most of my coaches were all state players at A level. Most of them, and most of them played quarterback. Uh, Lynn was 62. They've had some pretty good guys. My uncle, he was a pretty good running back for him. Eric Bass, he loved Lynn. Him and his brother Wayne Bass, uh, they enjoyed it a lot. Haleville with two uh, NFL players. And I think Ben Smith may be the last one he played for the Packers, but Ben Smith tragically drowned. Uh,
yeah.
uh, it was a bad accident, and he never really got to spend too much time in the NFL. And then Winston County won. That's kind of surprising to me. I wouldn't expect Winston County to have an NFL player.
Well, like I said, just me, it surprises me that any of these schools have NFL talent, but
Yeah,
they've got to come from somewhere.
yeah, yeah,
So why not here?
yeah. Well, why not? Why not us?
Yeah, why not us?
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
but guys, we're gonna take a short little commercial break, and we'll be back, and we'll talk about week one.
It's hot. Back to y'all guys at the Yellowhammer station.
All right, guys, welcome back from the commercial. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, we are the Yellowhammer Football Podcast here on the Lotus Sports Network. I am the Colonel. He is Catfish, and guys, we're going to talk a little week one in the
Oh yeah.
high school football world. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, the scores on this right here, don't matter. Obviously, they haven't played the games yet. We will update the slide and have a recap of the wins and losses next week. But we're just going to go over the games. That way, you got something to look forward to.
Here's brilliant Waterloo, man. Waterloo's one of them places, I always love going out there just camping and everything. But the school itself, you drive alongside the Tennessee River, the rock wall, all the way into Waterloo, and Brilliant's got that good view to whip that.
For sure.
Whip that tail. And I mean, Brilliant. I'm not sure who. I haven't been able to find it. I'm sure they've already named their head coach. I'm sure he's already coaching them, but that's one I haven't found. Yeah, they've still got last year's coach up there, so I haven't figured out who is coaching that program. But I look for them to be better this year. They had, I believe, 2 wins last year, and one of them was to Lynn in overtime, and I believe the other one may have been Waterloo. I look for them to beat Waterloo this year.
All right. Well, guys, all the listeners out there, if y'all have information that y'all can send us on, Brilliant situation, email us at Yellowhammer Football
Please.
I think it's Yellowhammer Football Podcast at gmail.com. If not, hit us up on Facebook. We're there too. We love all suggestions or information, whatever we can do to make the show better. That's what we're all about.
We definitely want to be interactive. Oh yeah, here's the matchup right here. Whoa, that's one heck of a week one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's. I believe Fox 6 and probably 33-40 about this one.
Yeah.
You don't get these type of matchups week one real often. So when you see somewhere like someone that's just coming off a season like Winfield and going to a place like Dora that's off of 78, it's a pretty hard environment to play in. It's pretty loud, and everybody be fat from Green Top, ready to scream on them. It's just scream for them Dora Bulldogs. So I believe this is going to be a good one, good matchup. And Chavis will have them ready, and I know Coach McKinney have Winfield ready, and it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, I mean, this one was probably a candidate for game of the week as well,
Yeah.
So
no doubt. Another good one. People, Red Bay was always one of them programs that was difficult to beat no matter what sport they were in, no matter what sport you were playing. And it's just something about it. It's out in the middle of BFE almost Mississippi anyways. And Hamilton may be a bigger program. They may be coming off a better year, but that's gonna be a pretty tough matchup week one for Hamilton to go with. I'm kind of excited to see what that score is going to be. I think
it seems like there's going to be a lot of good games week one.
Yeah. It's no. Yeah. I'm kind of interested to see if Kelly Russian's still coaching Shows Christian. He was at Winston County. He coached me at Haleville in basketball, and he coached Haleville softball to a state championship. So I wonder if he's still coaching at Shows Christian. Tharptown, I give it to them. They've kept their program, and they've had a lot of rough years. It's kind of hard being in the area they're in to really compete with what they got, but they're still a pretty tough ass to go up against, especially week one. That's going to be in Shows Christian going to Tharptown out there dang near Bankhead.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's out there. It's a very small school.
Yeah.
It's
going to be interesting too. Oof.
It's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, it's going to Madison Madison County.
Yeah, Madison County. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Grissom's always been a pretty hard school. It don't matter what sport you're playing them in. We played them in a lot of camps and stuff like that, and they were always physical. But Russellville's always been a better football program. Grissom's more competes in every sport, where Russellville's strictly football. Now Russellville does basketball and baseball too, but I would say Russellville on this one. I'm going with Russellville. Who you got?
Let's go with Russell. Why not?
Yeah,
maybe the underdog pick. Grissom, obviously a 7A school. They're used to playing bigger schools.
Coach Ritter
doesn't mean they necessarily have better teams there, but
no. And Coach Ritter's gonna have them Golden Tigers ready, man. It's gonna be a great one. I know Russell's got it. I believe in him.
Hey, I'm telling you guys, like if you're out on a Friday night looking for a game to go to, and if you want to drive to Madison County, this one would be one I'd like to go watch.
Hey, IHOP, they got it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, this is probably the best matchup in Winston County. I will say, Addison Land's always pretty good, but Addison Winston County is this is going to be a good one Addison has always been historically a better program.
Yeah.
But Winston County might have them in this one. And especially it being in Double Springs, I want to say Winston County's got the head. What you thinking?
It's always hard to beat teams at home, especially if the other team is really good too.
Yeah.
Let's go Winston County.
Let's go Winston County.
I love the Jacks in Double Springs. So
the Yellow Jacks. No, we're good. That was weak. Maplesville against Meek I want to say Maplesville. It hadn't been long since the Maplesville's made a deep run in the playoffs, if not a championship. But Meek with Powell. I think hold on. I believe it's Powell. No, yeah, it's Powell. Maybe I believe Powell is their head coach. But anyways, they made a pretty good. They had a pretty good season last year. Got the playoffs. Had a pretty good run. I think he'll have them back probably around the same wins. I know they got the playoffs this year. I look for them to be competitive in this game. I want to say they come away with a win.
Well, like I said, I don't know much about it, but I'll go with Meek too because I like the helmet. So
yeah, no doubt. Hey, do you know what Meek means?
No,
it means quiet, reserved, which is pretty much Arley. It also means submissive, but
right?
We won't go there.
No.
Here we go. Rogers against Haleville. This is an opponent that back in the early 2000s. I mean, we're not too far in the 2000s, but back in the early 2000s, it's always been an opponent Haleville's had a problem with.
Yeah.
There's some years where Rogers ain't all that, but most of the time they give Haleville a game. It being at Haleville with Bo Cover back, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people just right off the bat starting the first game. That program's going to make a complete turnaround, and I believe they get this done. I believe they get it done by at least 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm on board with you. Let's look for the rebirth of Haleville week 1. Why not start off strong?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know if I'm going to go 20, but I'll go 14.
Roll Lions, man. Roar Lions. But yeah, here we go. Oakman Sulligent. Sulligent's one of them programs that's always produced stars. If you listen to the radio broadcast of Alabama football games, the field analyst will be Rashad Johnson, and he was a walk-on at Alabama, and he was a part of Nick Saban's first national championship team, and he played for Sulligent. He was a All-American, I believe, his senior year, but he had 4 picks in an overtime LSU game. Wow. And they've always had pretty good talent, but I believe Oatman's got them here. Oatman, I believe Oatman, 9-1.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, I'm going to go with Oatman.
Yeah.
Nothing against Sulligent, but
nah, nothing. Here we go. This is a big game. Big game. One point in time, Fayette County had the winningest coach in the state of Alabama. That was back in my playing days. They've always been a pretty good program, and it's hard. It's hard to play them mid-season. It's hard to play them at the end of the season. It's dang sure hard to play them first game.
Yep.
And it's Cordova. They're building a program. They've had a couple years under Smothers that they've gotten better, and it's going to be a hard ask. I mean, that's for the first week. That's one of them opponents you don't want to see in the first 3 weeks. You want to be be where you need to be competitive.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like I said, don't know much about them. You know, I'll take Fayette County. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. Pardon me. I believe I'll take Fayette County too. I hate to go against Cordova, but I believe I'll take Fayette County.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Right here at Cold Springs, you know, that's the Coleman team. Curry, they're going down 69 to Cold Springs. It's not that far of a trip, so it's just over the Coleman County line. Curry is looking for their first year in, I believe, 3 seasons, or first win in at least 3 seasons. DJ Emerson's a great guy. He's got the right mindset. He's getting everybody involved in the program. I look for them to have that first win this year under DJ Emerson, and maybe even multiple. But right now, first game of the season, for them to get it here, it would be electric for the program. It didn't matter. It won't matter if they lose the rest. The fact they get this game and they're 1-0 for the first time in forever. Yeah, it'll mean the most to them. And honestly, I'm rooting for them. I'll go for them. I'll pick them to win this game.
Yeah, hey, why not? Let's start off strong. Let's pick Curry, electrify the season, the team, the coaches. You know, like you said, they haven't had a lot of wins in a while. And like you said, why not start off big? You know, if you're going to beat a team, why not do it with the big team? You know?
Yeah. And I was wrong. It's not 69 South. It's 69 North.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Center Point against Jasper. Jasper, you know, they did everything they could, I know, under Philip Bailey to be competitive in 6A. It couldn't happen for them. And they stayed in a lot of their ball games. But most of the teams, I mean, you had Pinson, you had Clay Chalville that went undefeated and won state championship last year. Their quarterback, Khalib Johnson, went on to play for Louisville. They've had to compete against major teams that put out D1 talent every year. I'm talking FBS, Power 5 conference talent. Center Point, it's another one of them programs that's in the Birmingham Metroplex, well, around it. So they're another one of them teams that produce that kind of talent. It's going to be hard to ask, but the fact that Jasper gets them at home and they've been good, they beat Morris Hill the past 2 years, week 1. So I think they'll be competitive, and I think they'll beat Center Point with Spencer at quarterback.
Hey, I agree with you, man. Let's go Jasper with the win. Might be close, but I think they can pull it out.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But, guys, we're going to stop right here before we start our game of the week, but we'll be right back with our game of the week. Hey, everybody, it's Coach and Colonel here from the Spring Loaded Football Podcast, taking a short break from your podcast. We wanted to tell you about Spring Loaded Football, where each and every Friday we talk about Spring League sports, USFL, XFL, X League, fan control football, guys. We got it all. Coach, what you got to say?
Hey, y'all check us out. Like it, love it, and everything. We talk about a lot of stuff on here. We try to keep it quick and simple, and we talk about everything, even some things like kickers.
That's right. Check it out, springloadedfootball.com. Now back to the show. Welcome back, guys. Again, the Yellowhammer Football Podcast here on the Lotus Sports Network. You just watched the video. Here it is, game of the week.
Oh, man.
You know, something special with me. We got Phil Campbell versus Hackleberg. Always a big game.
Always. Sure. Always. This has got to be the game you attended every year or tried to.
Yeah.
Every year
used to, like when I was in school, this was the last game of the year.
Yeah.
You know, it was not the first game.
What a change.
You know, so like we would always, you know, there'd be something going on at school. We'd paint our face, wear T-shirts, you know, whatever we could do to intimidate fear into the football team, But Coach here on the Lotus Sports Network, man, he played football at Hackleburg. I never played at Phil Campbell, but it was always a big rivalry between me and Coach.
So. Oh yeah, I mean this game right here, we were talking, this summer, me and you, about the fact there's been two rivalries that had fights or massive fights that got put on YouTube. And one of them was Phil Campbell Hackleburg, the other being Jasper and Coleman. But Phil Campbell and Hackleburg, that rivalry's one you always heard about. It didn't matter if you were in Haleville, it didn't matter if you were in Jasper. I mean, wherever you went, you heard about that rivalry, especially
because most people that live here in Phil Campbell have family or know somebody that went to school in Hackleburg.
Yeah,
there used to be a Piggly Wiggly grocery store. You're wearing the hat.
Yeah. All your exes live in Hackleburg, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, there was a rivalry between the two grocery stores. They were owned by the same person. Didn't matter, but still, there was a rivalry. And it all stems around this game. Because everybody that worked at Hackleburg probably lived there. Most of the people that worked at Phil Campbell lived in Phil Campbell, and most of the times the players on these teams work there. So like I said, this thing got heated multiple times. Every year. It didn't matter.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm excited, man.
I'm picking Phil Campbell. I don't know much about any team, but I want to be a homer on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Phil Campbell. I know it probably won't happen, but
if you're looking at it in a way, I mean, they had a pretty good year or decent year last year, and you look at the baseball program being as successful as they were, and as a football player, if I'm seeing a baseball player win a state championship, I'm that much hungrier to win a football championship.
Yeah.
And I believe that's going to that drove them in the summer to work out and get better and want to taste that for themselves. And I know a lot of these guys played on the baseball team. So
yeah. I hate to bring up Coach so much, but again, he went to Hackleburg. Coach is here on the Lotus Sports Network. You can check him out every Friday on Spring Loaded Football, but at myself as well. But Coach won the state title for Hackleburg in baseball, like 2007 or something like that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So like he knows about winning tradition in Hackleburg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's it helps to have that kind of love and spirit. And a lot of these people that work in plants and work in these or infrastructure around all these communities want to see a good program. They want to go watch Friday nights. They don't want to sit at home. They want to go out and support their home team and see everybody in town. And it's good when you got a good program, and it's good when you got a lot of love around the program.
Oh, for sure. And like I said, when I went to school, when I was in high school, Phil Campbell was not good.
Yeah.
Most of the time, so I sort of just I haven't kept up with it, but doing this show and stuff, we're going to start reaching out to teams and players and coaches, and I'm going to get more involved in this, and I want to see Phil Campbell do good.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be special. I dig it. I dig what we're doing, and it's a blessing. It's honestly a blessing, and it's definitely. I'm looking forward to it. No doubt.
Oh yeah, I mean, guys, like I said, this is episode 1. You probably checked out our trailer of what we're about and stuff. We're going to be adding stuff all the time. Hopefully, next week we'll have pictures from the games that we can get and stuff like that, and we'll deep dive on some of the stats and stuff on some of the teams. Again, we can't do it for everybody just because the show can't be 5 hours long.
Yeah,
so.
We'll get to the bigger games. We're more than likely going to stick with the biggest games of the week and shine the light on them and maybe gloss over the ones that wasn't as important. Not saying that.
Well, yeah. Every game is important.
Yeah.
We want to make sure everybody knows that.
But the region and rivalries are the more important games.
We'll be talking a lot about the rival games, or later on in the season, playoff contention, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Are you good, Catfish?
I'm good. Appreciate you.
That's right, guys. We appreciate everybody for listening. Let's help this show grow. Tell your friends about it. If you're in high school watching this, tell your buddies, tell your parents' friends. Anybody let them know. We're trying to promote all the good things.
All the good things. All the good things, brother.
That's right, man. Again, you can find the show on YouTube and Spotify for the video show. You can check it out anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And guys, we hope we're part of that group. And if we're not, maybe we'll grow into it. But guys, I'm the Colonel. He is Catfish. You have just heard from the Yellowhammer Football Podcast, and we will see you next time.